Saying shalom to everybody out there. This is Dr. Kepha Ben Isreal, Archbishop and Chief Apostle of Kingdom Building Institute and Ministries, which is based located in Portland, Oregon. Welcome to Prophecy Talk, one of the very few shows that uses things from a spiritual perspective and talks about today's issues and also gives us prerequisites and pre warnings of the end times. I am elated to be here. Last night, I was talking on the show about different things, various things, as far as when it comes down to the integrity of leadership in this end time reformation that we're living in, as far as people being shamed into submission. I use such prevalent words, and it brings about change. The world is definitely changing. We got a brand new week. This is July the 13th, 2020. We're into a brand smacking new week. We're about to see some brand new things in the world of ministry, in the world of spirituality, in the world of social change, political, religion, you name it. We're about to see something totally different out here. I just hope that you guys are ready for the things that are about to happen in this new dispensation, this new world as we know it. Now, as we know, the last time I came and talked to you guys, I was talking about the integrity of ministry and how things never change. Revelation 13 brings us to light to the two beasts, the dragon that's given the power to the two beasts. Of course, that's Satan. We don't want to make things more complicated than what they are. Satan has a diabolical plan to rise up his anti-Messiah or antichrist, if you will, to reign on the earth. And the Bible tells us in Revelation 13 chapter for 42 months. In that 42-month period, we're going to see probably tremendous loyalty and blasphemies of God, worse than what we've ever seen. Now, the question is, how is this going to take place? How are we not going to see what's going to happen? Or better yet, some people with Bible theory have come up with the idea of what they call a rapture, that the church itself will not be present when all of this takes place. These are some big things that we're talking about. Well, when you look at the revelation of Revelation, the theory that the church will not be here is correct, but not in the form of a rapture. And the reason why we know it's correct, because when you look through the chapter forms of Revelation 1 all the way to 3, leading up to the fourth chapter of Revelation, which I like to call that the big dance, the big party in heaven, we see an interesting contrast. There are 7 letters that are written for the 7 churches of Asia Minor, which were dominant of that era and that time. Okay? Once the final letter has been written, has been relayed to the angel, the messenger of that church, then we hear nothing else about the church. We get to Revelation, the 4th chapter, and we get to the grandstand, if you will, where the throne is at. You have the 4 living creatures, and with the 4 living creatures, you have the 20 and 4 elders. The 20 and 4 elders, which represent the regions, if you will, the spiritual regions for the kingdom that is setting up to come to earth. Now, it does not say anything at all in reference to the kingdom coming to earth. This is something that has been revealed to us through the spiritual notion. Just as Christ, Messiah, Mashiach, asked his apostles, in private sessions, who do men say that I am? And then, of course, they gave several definitions, answers, and equations to that. Who do they say? And they came up with all different names. And then Peter stood up and said, "You are the Son of the living God." And then, of course, the answer was given back to him that flesh and blood has not revealed this to you, but the Holy Spirit, or the Ruach HaKodesh, has revealed this to you. We are in the same motion in this end time measure, people, that confronted and when they were face to face with Messiah, because in the Hebrew we say Yahusha, Jesus, Yahusha. We are now saying in this time, and we're saying, what do men say about this time? What do men say about this time? Well, first of all, I'm going to stick my neck out there and say that a spiritual revolution, an awakening, if you will, a prophetic intervision for the new things that are about to happen in the earth realm. Well, I shouldn't say about to happen, the things that are actually happening. We are seeing a twisting, a turning in the atmosphere, if you will, of ideologies that are being thrown out there. The big thing in the news that we're watching about the Black Lives Matter, and then the American presidency coming up in November, the election, and we're looking at the preeminent opponents such as Donald Trump, the incumbent president, and Joe Biden, who is the presumptive Democratic nominee. Now we got another name in the hat. We don't know how serious this is. I personally have a lot to say about it. Mr. Kanye West throwing his hat in for president of the United States. Now, you have to understand, in every diabolical plan, there's a niche and a hitch. There's always got to be something there that's got to cause question, doubt, and reprehensible motions in the midst of it. And that is what I see with Mr. Kanye West, is a reprehensible distraction that's being thrown in the mix of an already confusing situation that is bringing non-clarity to the world. When the prophets stand up, when the prophets speak up, when they stand up, when they speak up, when they feel their way through, they come with clarity and understanding. And with my prophetic gift, I've been, sanctioned by the Most High in heaven to give a indefinite answer to the majority of this. We are working in First John, the second chapter. First John, the second chapter. It brings to our attention about the antichrist or anti-messiahs that have already been sent out in the world, that are here way before the time of the ultimate anti-messiah, who will reign for 42 months. Now, what do you think that these anti-messiahs, if you will, or antichrists, are bringing into our atmosphere? Well, it is their job to bring the spirit of doubt, the spirit of confusion, the spirit of self-lack, low self-esteem, to bring in the doubting of circumstance and situation. That is the job of the anti-messiahs. Think about it. Anti, against, anti, against. They are not coming to bring pleasantries. Even though, and this is going to be a shocker to some of you, the spirit of Delilah is being used by the anti-messiahs to soften up, if you will, the earth realm for a diabolical takeover. The spirit of Delilah is being used. Now, if you know anything about spiritual things or the spiritual realm, then you know that the spirit of Delilah and the spirit of Leviathan work closely together. Leviathan sucks the life out. Delilah seduces the life out. So they may not even really like each other. We don't even have any history that says that they like each other or even tolerate each other. But we do know that the similarities in the two contrasts of spirits and attitudes has brought us to the realization of what this could be and what this probably will be. Okay? A collaboration. Demonic spirits collaborate to elaborate. Let me say that again for those of you that didn't hear this correctly. Demonic spirits collaborate to elaborate. They don't have to like each other, or they don't even have to see eye to eye with each other. All they have to do is have a common goal. The common goal is the stoppage or the preventiveness of the kingdom of Yah coming to earth. And for us who are the true children of the Most High, the true spiritual warriors, the ones that have been communicating with him in the spirit realm, it is the job of Satan to keep us from uniting together and keeping us at odds, keeping us at theological differences, at spiritual gaps, if you will. So, not a surprise, but it is by design that we have a dumbfounded church, a church that has no clue of its true identity and has no clue of its purpose. This is not a mistake. This is all part of the diabolical plan. Now, we talk about the plagues and we talk about the things that have been unleashed in the earth realm and all these different things. Anyone that knows anything about spirituality, they can read. That actually will read the book of Revelation, the book of Daniel, Ezekiel, and dare to read the book of Enoch, knows that this is all happening according to plan. There is a diabolical plan to knock off the balance of spiritual power, because that's where the real power lies. Now, in the level state, which is the earth realm, in the level state, power is determined by money. The bottom line, everybody's talking about rearrange and change, and everybody's saying, oh, we're going to see a change in our social injustice. Really, people? Honestly, nothing changes without money. The brown and black community, the Afrocentric community that I like to call, we are not going to see any type of change until we can match the money of the high rollers so that we can bring something to the table to even talk about. That may not be what a lot of folks want to hear. And it may not be something that is well received or taken in the measure that a lot of you may not want to take it, but it's the truth. If you don't have any money to bring to the table, then nobody's listening. And then not only money, but you got to have something of workability that they can work with. And when I say they, I'm talking about the powers to be. So this is where the intent of the world, the social intent of the world, which is controlled at this point in time by Satan. This is how it plays a major role, and is using the guise and the face of religion as its, pivoting pole to move things in a direction that seems to be confusing to people that are not keeping up with the statistics in the spirit. The logistics and the statistics in the spirit are that right now we're losing. And we're losing we're having a bad landslide because we are seeing the rise of the LGBTQ community. We're seeing the rise of the nonchalant community that promotes the Muslim agenda, that promotes the Buddhist agenda, the universal teaching agenda. It looks like we're losing right now. And it looks like it's no hope in this because we're losing our mind. DMX said, y'all gonna make me lose my mind up in here, up in here. Y'all gonna make me act a fool up in here, up in here. That's what we're seeing. That's what we're seeing. We're seeing the panic of people that cannot handle circumstances and don't know the solution because they're not thinking. I want to give you this piece of advice today, this morning in the AM. A thinking man always wins. When you are using the literal tools of thinking and the literal tools of assumption, you can win because now you're giving yourself time to breathe. Satan comes to steal, kill, and destroy. Let me say that again. Satan comes to steal, kill, and destroy. What is he coming to kill? He's coming to kill any thought of hope. Any thought of hope. So then eventually he kills your dream, and then he destroys you. That's the may not happen in that manner or in that order, but that's what we're dealing with. We are dealing with an end time presence, a demonic presence that's very intelligent. Very intelligent. We cannot use an unintelligent approach to defeat a very intelligent enemy. He has allowed the identity of the chosen people of Israel to be hidden. That's the first weapon of attack. Shamefulness. To use shamefulness as as an advantage, something that should be used as a strength, is now being used as an advantage to denigrate the people of Yah. Now, Delilah, the spirit of Delilah, comes in deception because Delilah looks for the strengths to turn them into weaknesses. That is Delilah's whole purpose, is to look for a strength to reverse it into a weakness. We've got to be very careful that we don't turn our confidence level into arrogance, because when it becomes arrogance, then that's a weakness. That's a vulnerability that now can be exploited by the enemy. The enemy is not doing anything new. He's not putting nothing on us that we can't handle. He's using our own mistakes, our own follies, and our own shortcomings to expose everything that we're dealing with. Okay? And that's what we see. The end time measure is a chess game. It's a strategy that we're seeing. So I would advise my fellow preachers, bishops, apostles, prophets, apostles, all of you out here, that you need to learn how to play chess. You need to learn how to play the dominoes of chess in the spiritual realm, because that's exactly the game that Satan is playing. He's playing it, and he's playing it so smooth that now he's got us at odds with each other. The word denomination comes from the Greek word dynamo, which means division. There's a split in the church that was built by Christ. There's a split. There's a split because of doctrines and gifts. We're not seeing eye to eye with the gifts that are being distributed, or the gifts that should be distributed. Why? Because we've got too many people that want to put their brand on prophecy. And it's kind of sad, but it's just a reality that I think a lot of people have not really come to grips with, that most of the prophetic people out here, or the most of the prophets that are surfacing right now, have their own brand on what they call ministry. And when you brand something, that means that you built it and heaped it up upon yourself. The references in 1 Corinthians, the 4th chapter. These are perilous times. People will be lovers of themselves, boasters, and braggers. That's what we are basically seeing in this hour, is a rise of the self-arrogance of people in a prophetic mindset. Now, mind you, gifts and callings come without repentance. Gifts and callings come without repentance. So if I could this morning, let me indulge you into the true facts that we have here. Many people that have developed themselves into becoming false prophets started out as real prophets. They did. They started out as real prophets because they had true intentions in mind to be able to do what they're doing. So all false prophets did not come into this aura or this arena wanting to be a false prophet. They came into this arena with the mindset of false prophecy, but because of the greed of power and the promise of fame and money, became false. They became false. Heck, we don't have to look real far. We don't even have to look at a biblical example. We can go into our own dispensation of the earth realm and look at Jim Baker. The power that was allotted to Jim Baker through money and financial promises that put a bust on the PTL, the Praise the Lord Club. They put a bust on it because of the spectacular breaks and bounds of becoming more than what you really are. Money has a very, very tantalizing and addictive nature to it. Money can turn a decent person into an evil person real quick and fast. I mean, literally real quick and fast. It can change the atmosphere. It can change the dial on a circumstance and a situation. And this is where we're coming in with the preacher part, with the leaders in the churches, because a lot of the leaders in the churches now can't even carry a sentence outside of a scripted sermon. Can't even carry on a conversation without being prompted the night before. That's the reason why I'm so glad that the Holy Spirit made me where that if I prepare something, he breaks it up immediately. Breaks it up, and then he changes me right there in the pulpit. I know some of you understand what I'm saying. He'll change you right there in that pulpit or in the teaching session, whichever way it go, and he takes you in a whole totally different direction. And then your knowledge of the word is on showcase right then and there. Because then you've got to learn how to shift into a different mode from where you started from in order to bring people into what you're doing. You got to get them in, let them buy in to what you're talking about. I guess being a prophetic preacher or in the prophetic season means that you got to be a great salesman of truth. You got to sell truth, because telling truth all by itself without bringing up what truth is just as bad as being bored. And we just have a lot of people that are bored, smacked to death. They're bored. They come to church, it's the same routine. Whether you're going to a Sunday morning church, which you shouldn't be, but I'm very sure that a lot of people that are watching me right now are Sunday morning church people. So you go in and you get your routine of a praise and worship or devotion, get your offering out the way, and then you get up and preach a hellacious sermon, something to set people on fire, or probably not even that, but something that's so confusing that nobody can even look it up to understand what it means. And now we're seeing the tactics of Satan in the end time, because he's using our own lack of knowledge against us in order to gain power through us to us. Hello, somebody. That's what he's doing. And regardless of what anybody thinks about that situation, and regardless of what anybody wants to place into that situation, this is the game that's being played. And now it's permeated into our social settings, in our political settings, and on our religious scene, because religion itself is man-made teaching. So man taught other men how to take advantage of men. Hello, somebody. The spirit of Delilah lives and lives in a prevalent way, stronger than ever. Delilah is seducing her prey, and then she's introducing them to Leviathan. Once she's done all that she can do, then Leviathan's going to just suck them up, take all of what's left of them. Period. That's what we're dealing with in this hour that we're talking about right now. Um, should we be a little compassionate to people that don't know? Maybe. And I say a big maybe because how much didn't you know? How much can we excuse about what you don't know? I mean, it's your responsibility to educate yourself in the Word. So, how far do we go with giving you a pass card to the things that you see? I myself have been a subject to much ridicule because of my lack of awareness, and that led to me, falling flat on my face. But thank God for the power of resiliency and restoration, because I wouldn't be anywhere, wouldn't be sitting in front of you talking to you if I did not submit myself to proper order to be built back up. In some cases, it was not time yet. I think a lot of people struggle with that part right there because their time has not come yet, so they're trying to make themselves be that time or to walk in that time, and it's just not plausible because it's just not where we're at yet. It's just not where we're at yet. And then when we get that open door, that opportunity, we kind of royally flush because we wasn't prepared. We didn't take seriously the attacks of the enemy, and now we are here to rectify the situation, and we can't do nothing about it because we fell for the okey doke. We fell for the okey doke. That's what this end time reformation is all about, because we've got to wake up in some kind of way and find some strategy. Kingdom builders, where are you at? Truth tellers, where are you at? We've got to put everything on the line, from money to relationships to even expound in the truth, let alone tell the truth. Where's the guts? Where's the guts? We are truly in an hour of testing, and we're the fortitude of that testing is now. Um, I don't even want to talk deep and spiritual until we are dealing with people that believe. Because the belief system means everything. If you don't believe the same thing I believe, and if we're not walking on one accord, then nothing works. We might have same intentions, right intentions, but we are not walking on the same path because we don't believe the same thing. Hello, somebody. We got to be somewhere in that middle to believe that same thing in order to make certain things happen. And this is the reason why now I want to talk about the mental health of the ministers in the church. We have literally got ministers that need help. They got a real chemical imbalance because it shows with their lack of participation and the off decisions that they make behind the pulpit. And for so long, we've associated that with a demon. Now, it could be a demonic spirit, and I'm not going to say that it's not a demonic spirit, but that demonic spirit is suppressed through counseling and for us recognizing the conditioning of those preachers that are actually suffering with mental health issues. This is a big deal, and we're seeing it all across the board. We're seeing it all across the board, and it's time to rectify this situation, and we've got to do it with compassion, kindness, and discernment. You got to discern someone that's dealing with a mental issue opposed to someone being possessed with a demon. Everybody's not possessed with demons. I mean, if we could go there, then the whole world needs to be cast out, needs to have hands laid upon them. Right now in COVID-19, I ain't laying hands on nobody. Okay, I'm spiritual and I love the Lord, but I ain't crazy. I'm not gonna mess around and put myself in jeopardy so that things can happen so easy. because it's so easy to deal with this. And we are dealing with a pandemic. Let's not forget that in this time, as of July 13th, 2020, we are still dealing with a pandemic across the world, not just in the United States, but all across the world. But the United States has taken a bigger hit than most people or most countries. So the mental state of mind, my thing is that during this quarantine of a pandemic, some states shut down, some places had a stay in or a shut in order, if you will. And when you're dealing with people that are already mentally imbalanced, them sitting still can't do nothing but make them worse. And all of a sudden you hear conspiracy theories. You can hear things passing back and forth that is so out of order that it takes order to bring them in order. And then all of a sudden we get all this crazy stuff, and people have time to make videos on YouTube and all the different platforms, the social media platforms, and say a lot of stuff and woo your mind and have you believe in all this stuff. And what it is that their tired boredness, the ingenuity of their hidden power in their brain has become creative, and now has started lying for them. That's what we're seeing in this end time with the things, especially that we're dealing with, in particularly with that. It's a deep subject. It's a deep situation, but it's a real situation. It's a real subject that we need to honestly look at and try to figure out the objective, which way we go. Here at Prophecy Talk, that's one of the reasons why we are hitting it right on the nose as it is, to bring out the sovereign solitude of this thing, and let's get some good answers with it. Now, we're on the platform on YouTube. We're on the platform with Twitter, Periscope, Facebook Live, and Twitch. So I am not able to see the comments on Facebook. So if you want to comment to me directly, then you have to go to YouTube or Periscope. Our administrator, Heather Harris, is on Facebook right now. She's the one that is greeting anyone on Facebook and answering any questions on Facebook. So I'm unable to have that particular outlet, but I do have the outlet with YouTube and Periscope. So, and Heather Harris is our head administrator and that evangelist. I like to always say that she's that evangelist. Now, if you want to donate to the cause of this ministry, because we definitely would love to do things, and I'm gonna tell you what the vision is. The vision is for us to build a television studio where we can be producing these talks like this and shows like this, but I need your financial help in order to make this a reality. So what you need to do is go to the Cash app and hit the $ and type in Chief Apostle Kepha. Kepha is spelled Kepha. Kepha. Or you can go to PayPal. PayPal.me, M-E, / capital K, capital I, Sreal. Get in there and give what you can, because we're trying to build a television studio / school, a physical television studio / school, so that we can do the things we do. And I need your help to do it. I'm going to stay on here as much as I can so that we can get the help. And then we're looking for monthly partners. We're looking at a minimum with an investment of $50 per month. $50 or more per month. That will place you as a monthly partner with Kingdom Building Institute and Ministries. And we're coming up with the benefits of that. One of the major benefits that is there is lifetime mentorship with me, moving into the next phase of your ministry, whatever that is. And I'm telling you, it is not a regret to get involved in this. This is actually a great thing to have somewhere where you can be mentored, you can be taught, and developed all at the same time. And that's what it's all about. Um, we got so many things coming up this week. We have our master class of prophecy. This is the last week here, the week of July 13th. This is the last week that we're going to be accepting students in this term, in this enrollment for this term, because after that, you're going to have to wait until after September, because that's when the next class will be. So if you're thinking about it, don't think too much. Just come and do it. If you don't want to do it, then wait until September. It is every bit of $150 for the 6-month duration. It's unheard of. $150 gets you into the whole thing, and for the duration of our class, our master class of prophecy. Shalom. Good morning. In the Hebrew tongue, Boker Latov. Boker Latov. Good morning to everybody. I'm telling you, I am bright and I feel good. Right now, here in the great state of Oregon, it is 6:39 on the dial. I know it's about after 9 o'clock on the East Coast, and it's probably after 8 on the Central, but it is after 6:39. We've been on here at least about 45 minutes. That's a good timing for. We don't want to wear out people's patience, because we know that folks don't have a lot of great aptitude as far as sitting still. And that's a good thing and a bad thing. It's a good thing and a bad thing. But we're going to continue to pray for our government, that the people that are on top in our government, from the president all the way down to the governors and the mayors and our state senators, are making the right decision. We are praying that the Most High will put in a spirit of urgency in these people to change some things and change them fast. Okay, I want to say to the Poor People's Campaign that's run by the Reverend Dr. William J. Barber. I've really become fascinated with this movement because of the realness of it and the things that they promote and put out there. Reverend Barber has been doing this for quite some time, and I'm just like tickle pink. I invite you to go to their website to check out what they're doing, because they're doing some great things for the world and seeing some indifferences, and they're standing for things such as systematic racism and et cetera, et cetera. So I'm really ascribed to that. I'm just intrigued by that as much as possible. And I dare not be on this prophecy talk speaking to you guys on these platforms without just, promoting that. Also, a friend of mine who was on a platform with me not too long ago, Dr. Theron Williams, he's wrote a book called The Bible is Black History. Now, if you want to get thorough information and theoretical information and, theology, etc., I advise you to look him up, buy this book, and just going to make you smart. Look him up, buy the book. It's definitely going to make you smart. Okay? And I say that really strongly. It's going to make you smart. Hello, somebody. Thank you guys for joining us into the Prophecy Talk. We're in the baby stages. This is like maybe the third or fourth show that we have officially done. And it just gets better and better, gooder and gooder, as they say. We're coming back with stronger shows each time to get you guys acclimated into the things that need to be acclimated into, which is spiritual warfare and the preparation of understanding the words of prophecy. It's always a big deal. It's always a promise. Um, Man, look at the time. It is flying. Time is flying. And we are almost out of time this morning. But I definitely wanted to come on and drop those words, those nuggets to you, and make sure that you guys have the opportunity to give to a cause that is really doing some great things in the earth realm, and we're getting ready for the end time. We call out all sickness today. We call out all mental anxieties today. We call out to the spirit of doubt right now. We cast you down like never before, because you have no power and you have no position on the people of Yah this morning. We also call for the warring angels and the healing virtue to come into your living room. We are calling for the lack of finances to be erase itself supernaturally. You shall see money. Supernaturally, you shall come into oneness with your spirit. This is the hour right now that we're going to see greater things. So we believe by the power of the blood of Yahushua HaMashiach, Jesus the Christ, that we are going to see dividends. That's right. Dividends are going to collect themselves. We're dropping this word simultaneously in your spirit so that you will know that he has come to do exceedingly and abundantly above all that you could ever ask for. Well, guess what? My time is almost up. I just want to let you know that I love you with the love of the Lord. This is Archbishop Dr. Kepha Ben Isreal. And I am so elated that we've started this show, because now you can start the morning with some inspiration, some truths and facts from the kingdom perspective. This is Prophecy Talk, and I am Dr. Kepha Ben Isreal signing off right now, saying to you, Shalom, and we will see you again.